Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the Mitt Flips, where I'm a full-time eBay reseller, and every 100 subscribers there's a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure to subscribe so you have a chance to win. I know there was, because there's still a couple videos yet to be out until we're back to up to date, there was a bit of a time gap between videos, and that was because we went camping for a weekend for Michael's birthday. And then we had a birthday party, and then I had an event with some friends to go to. It was just a busy last week, week and a half type of thing. So that's why there was that delay there. But we're back on track, I hope. You know, when you take a bit of extended time away from your normal routine, it takes a little bit to get back to it, even though it's your normal routine. Before it gets pulling orders, which there's a good amount, had a problem. Had a bit of an issue. Pair of shoes I sold, pair of Nikes. They went through authentication, and well, they went to authentication, and they came back unauthentic. So that is a major bummer. My hope is that let me see if I can. Yeah, here we go. Little note from. Oh, here we go. Your item did not pass the authentication check. We are returning this item to you because item's authenticity cannot be verified. For this reason, you may not relist this item. To learn more about blah, 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 I will actually have to go to the ebay.com/sellauthentic because what I'm hoping is that they check authenticity of that pair of shoes to the listing. Because my hope is that I mislabeled what they were. Like I messed up with the listing. I listed them as a something something number and they were actually a different number, or I had the color code wrong or something like that. That's my hope, not that they're actually not authentic. But it was this pair right here. I mean, I could see, you know, because there is some gluing here. Maybe they were repaired at one point. Maybe they're not authentic. I bought them as a whole collection from one gentleman. They're all in the same size. They're all his personal collection. I think he was in the service of some kind. So maybe he, you know, in his travels ended up with one of his pairs of shoes being unauthentic. If I can't confirm that that's what happened, where I just messed up the listing, then I clearly will not attempt to relist them. I'm not gonna say like I'm worried about the rest of them. I've had, I don't know, at this point, 10, 15 pairs of shoes actually make it through. Had another pair that went out the same day that made it through, no problem. My only worry is that if there's a couple of them in there, is eBay gonna, you know, come down on me? I mean, that's how Daily Refinement says he lost his account. That whole story still seems very shady. I'm not saying he's a shady person. I'm just saying there are details that he's not disclosing, I think, from a non-disclosure agreement. If you don't know who the story, Daily Refinement, huge seller, big time YouTuber, was selling one-offs, Nikes. They were custom one editions. They were, you know, like if a rapper makes a shoe or something like that, he had these really high-end shoes. I'm talking in the thousands of dollars for these shoes. And for some reason, he says eBay just didn't like it because he couldn't prove the lineage of the shoes. So eBay just didn't like it and shut down his store. That seems fishy. That's just story. Again, whatever. I'm not saying he's lying about the story. I'm saying he's omitting part of the story, probably for legal reasons. Not like he's being shady and a jerk, but because with a non-disclosure agreement, you can't disclose things. So that's my guess with that whole thing. But the fear, and that was the issue I had with that whole scenario, not to go off on a huge tangent, was that he wasn't giving all the details, in my opinion, and then it put a bunch of people who sell shoes and sell Nikes and have two pairs of Nikes in their store. It put them in an awkward position where they were worried about losing their store if something happened like what happened with this one, where they came up not authentic. So I definitely won't relist them. Even if I find out that's what happened when there was like an error in the listing, I'll probably try to sell them locally. But yeah, it was a real bummer because it was a big sale. It was the only saving grace of the whole scenario was that, excuse me while I work and talk at the same time. I do actually work and film at the same time. The only saving grace was that those were this pair of shoes where I accidentally sent out a 20% off coupon. So they sold for, there was a 10% off sale plus a 20% off coupon. So they sold for 30% off the asking price. So the return wasn't as bad as it could have been. I guess that's the silver lining, if there is one. But whatever, it is what it is. I don't foresee that being an issue with any of the others. I don't know. I really don't know. That's going to be a problem to be dove into at a much later date. That box of shoes is going to go into storage, and I'll deal with it some other time. I've got plenty of things on my plate to not deal with that. So let's go ahead and pull some orders, because one thing's on the plate is pulling orders. First thing going out, it's 2 in the same order. Splashdown and MX Superfly Ricky Carmichael. I don't know why I said it so weird. All right, there's MX Ricky Carmichael and PlayStation 2 Splashdown right here. And those 2 games sold together going through International Global Shipping Program. And for the pair of them, $19.78 free shipping to me, some amount of eBay money, some amount to eBay to get them from Kentucky to wherever. My guess is probably just Canada. Next thing going out on C5 is a vintage Dan D 1989 foam witch head right here. I was actually surprised how cheap these are. Vintage Halloween decorations usually do really well. There must just be a ton of these. I'm not really sure. Maybe the demand for them is just very low. But for that item right there, $14.39 free shipping. My assumption is it was on sale. Next thing going out, listed, I think sold immediately. It's on D3. It's Najita Lip Plumper. It's Lip Plumper right here. Yeah, Najita. And got this lip plumper in a, which I'm going to start calling them this, in a Mikhail mystery box. And for that item, $15.29 free shipping. Speaking of Mikhail mystery box, got one sitting right over there and another one on its way in the mail. So I'm going to do, next video will actually just be an unboxing because they just keep ending up on the shelf and listed and nobody gets to see it before it happens. See all the stuff, all the treasures as I discover them. So $15.29 free shipping right there. Next thing going out on B2 is a vintage 3-light chandelier. B2 right here. Blow mold type of thing with the bulbs. This right here with the light bulbs. Did another listing without the light bulbs and then had a bunch of just individual ones. I don't remember what I paid for them, but it was very cheap. Very, very cheap. I think maybe a dollar for the whole bag, all of them together, maybe $2 for all of it. Very cheap though. Those ones right there, $12.99 free shipping. And next thing going out is a GCI Technologies. It's on A2 in the basket here. It's a power block. GCI Technologies. Should be easy to find. White letters, says GCI. Oh wow, first one I grabbed. I am good at this. I have to tell myself all the time to feel good about myself. So yeah, GCI Technologies, AM12500. And for that random power block, $14.99 free shipping. These were one of those items where, you know, I say don't do it, but it ends up, if it happens to be something you do, like you have, like I had 30 of those sitting around, and you spend the 2 or 3 hours to list them all, it's a nice replenishable that's not really a replenishable. Kind of like the books, kind of like the remotes were. The remotes have slowed down a bunch because my local Goodwill and my local Salvation Army have started charging more for them. So I'm not going to look up every remote. So I used to buy them because they were 25 cents, 50 cents. I didn't have to look them up. I didn't have to spend that extra time. And when you're buying items for under $1 and trying to make $9.99, so on the whole purchase, you're making about $3 profit, looking it up takes all those profits away. The time it takes to look it up, gone. So when they were cheap, I would just buy them. 25 cents, 50 cents, throw them in the cart. Check the battery pack, battery back, no corrosion, throw them in the cart. But those type of things, when you have a bunch, you list them at once, and then you just forget about them. Chess pieces, that was one of them for a while. It's a nice little throw-in. It's a couple extra, I mean, $14.99 free shipping. I probably paid $0 for that. And, you know, so I'm making close to $10 profit. That's pretty good. Not something I suggest people go out and source, but like me, you eventually just end up with a bunch of them. Might as well list them. Nice little add-ons. They've been selling pretty good. Next thing going out, A4 is a vintage Canon bag. Vintage Canon camera bag. Canon camera bag. That's how you say words. And for that right there, I probably paid less than $1 for it. I got it at the big Humane Society sale this year. I think I sent out an offer, $22.99 free shipping, going through the global shipping program. So again, they paid some crazy amount of money to eBay. Next thing going out, A2A is a lot of 3 Finding Nemo. A2A. They're Finding Nemo McDonald's toys. And speaking of chess pieces, here are the last 2 I have left. If there's even a listing still, I should double check on that. And I do have some to replace it with. Just, it's one of those things where if you got better stuff to list the better stuff, which I currently do. Okay, what do you got? I can't remember this guy's name, but it's basically, we got Evil Dory, we got Nemo, and we got Dory. That's what that looks like. It looks like, what's the reverse Superman called? But yeah, you basically got Dory and then Evil Dory. All right, so for those 3 McDonald's toys, $19.99 free shipping. And then even like same kind of category, those McDonald's toys, they weren't great money. Like but to lot these 3 up, if you don't pay a ton of money and it's not a type of thing you're going out and searching for. If it happens to come to you, sure. I had a whole bunch of McDonald's toys basically dropped on my lap, listed them all in one day, and a bunch sold right away. And then every once in a while, oh, some more McDonald's toys. Couple bucks here, couple bucks there. The point of all that, I guess, is that I was very much reaffirmed today, bigger items, even though they make you a little more money, it's usually not worth it because that extra money you're making gets eaten up in cleaning, the listing time, the storage space, the packing time. And when we get to that item, I will discuss it a little further. Next thing going out, C3 is a bomber fish lure. C3 bomber fish lure. This is one of those brings out the lowball offers items. This was a original price, I think $12.99 free shipping. And in the day I listed it, I had, I don't know, 10's probably an exaggeration, but over 5 offers that were under $10. Some of them were $5. It's a free shipping item. Ended up going for $10.99 free shipping, but just one of those items where it brings out the lowball offers. So I don't know. That's my first fishing lure I've sold ever. So I don't know if that's just a fishing lure thing. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you do. If you sell a lot of fishing lures, do you get a lot of lowball offers? I'm curious. So $10.99 free shipping. I totally said that. Next thing going out, speaking of power cords and power blocks, is a Microsoft Surface Pro power block right here, which I don't think it had the other side to it. Or it does. Okay, it's just wrapped up in there. So that right there for Pro Windows something, model 1625, $15 free shipping on that one. And then here's the item. C6, of course, won't be able to pull it down because it's big, is a Eden Pure quartz infrared heater. Most of you know what these are. These are boots. It's not the boots. It is that big gentleman right there. How that reaffirmed that the way I've shifted my store is the way to go. The way that Auction Professor pounds the table, that smaller, 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 is the only way to go in his opinion. That item sold for $64.99 plus shipping. Sounds pretty good. $64.99 plus shipping. Let's work through that a little bit. So you got $64.99 plus... how much was the shipping? $38.12 in shipping. It probably won't cost me that much. I'll probably make some money on the shipping, but let's just go with, because if you don't have a store, you don't get the shipping discount. I don't think you get the eBay shipping discount without a store. I could be wrong on that, but maybe you don't regularly sell on eBay. Either way, we're going to stick with the numbers I got. So plus 38.12. I'm going to assume 15% in fees. Just going to make that assumption. In fees, that is $15.47, because fees do also come out of shipping. Because if not, everyone would just do free shipping to save on, I mean, everybody would just do very expensive shipping to save on fees. You'd make all of your items 99 cents and $75 shipping, flat rate shipping, so that you wouldn't have to pay fees. eBay is smarter than that. That's why they do charge it. I understand why they do. I just don't like it, but I understand why. Go back to our original sale price, $64.99 minus $15.47, $15.47 minus the $15 I paid for it equals $34.52. $34.52 in profit. That's okay. That's not great money, but it's not bad. It's not, $2 in profit. But to pack up this item, to clean this item, to store this item, all of those things are much, much more difficult than anything else in my store, basically. To pack that item, if I have the box here I need, which I probably do, if not, I 100% have it in storage. That's not a problem. I should have it here. That's an on me issue. I have the box. I should have it here. But the time to pack that up, if everything goes smooth, fits in the box right, don't got to do a bunch of crazy resizing, 20 minutes. If I got to do a bunch of extra stuff, 35 minutes to make $34.52 in profits. In that same time, I could pack up all of these things, plus the rest of the stuff I have today. I could pack, I mean, how many video games could you pack up in 30 minutes? I mean, minimum 10. Minimum 10. And if you sell 10 video games, do you think your profits are going to be more or less than $34.52? For me, I'm usually making minimum about $4 profit on a game. So minimum, in that same time, if it was all video games, I'm going to make $40 profit instead of $34.52. Takes up less space, less storage, less work. I got to get a ladder just to get it down. All these things. Big items for me. The profits gotta be huge. At this point in my business, the way I do mine, I hate that I have to remind people of that. You do your business your way. I'll do my business my way. But in the way I do mine, from now on, if an item's big, the profits have to be big enough where I can't pass it by. Where I go, I hate it, but that's a lot of money. That will be my deciding factor on if I pick up a VCR DVD combo. Even if that thing had been free, it still wasn't worth it, in my opinion. Because also, if it wasn't for that, this would have been a good sales day and the packing time would have been nothing. It's just any amount of time not spent listing more items so that you can sell more items is a detriment to your business. So if packing time becomes too much on certain items, do away with them. List other things. List smaller things. List better things. My opinion. Chime in. Am I wrong? Take the profits. But in my opinion, anything distracting you, anything taking away from doing more listings is costing you money. Next up is a couple of games. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts and Cabela's something. Right here. Big Game. Dangerous Hunts and Big Game Hunts. And this, I had one of these listed by itself for over a year, wasn't selling. Then I pulled it out and paired it with another one. For the pair of those, $10 free shipping. And then next up, it's a book, Hardy Boys books. It's 3 of them actually, right here. These are not in great condition, but antique children's books tend to not be in great condition. And for all 3 of those, not a ton of money either, but $14 free shipping. I definitely accepted an offer. I think I had them listed. They might have even been $24.99, but if not, $19.99 for the 3 of them. Either way, books I paid nothing for. They can go. That's still going to be, $8, $9 in profit, somewhere in there, depending on what I pack them in. Which for these, that'll probably end up in a box. If they weren't so damaged, I would probably just medium bubble, maybe a couple loops around, and still just put them in a poly bag. But because of the damage, I don't want them to jostle, move around at all. And then next up is an order with 3 games in it. It is Crash, Twinsanity, Sled Storm, and James Bond. Crash, Twinsanity, Sled Storm, and James Bond 007 Agent Under Fire. Now that's a good group of games right there. Covers your first-person shooter, your platformer, and your racing. That's a good spread. And those are all going out to a viewer and cousin of mine, Sabra. She's bought a few things from me before. Sabra, thank you very much. Ed, also, thank you very much. Ed is her soon-to-be husband. And for the three of those, $40.97 free shipping, and did take an offer on those. Next thing going out is a hat, vintage Mariner outboard motors, maybe? Outdoor something? I should really finish reading these things before I go. Mariner outboard motors. For that vintage hat in okay condition, but it's definitely vintage. $9.99 free shipping. And I am going to figure out a different way to ship hats when they're below a certain value, because putting this $9.99 item into a 40-cent box, that math doesn't add up. But right now, it's the best option I have. The other thing I was thinking is I could wrap the bills in cardboard and then still put it in a poly bag, but then the hat's getting mushed. I think what I'll do is I'll just order some boxes specifically for the hats, the same size the ones I have, just much cheaper. Because the box I have from eBay, the eBay boxes are a quality box. They're a thick box. It's overkill for the hats, but I also, as someone who wears a lot of hats, if I ordered one and the bill was all bent up because it was just thrown in a poly bag and the hat was all mooshed, I'd probably be upset. So I ship them in a box for now, or at least in a too expensive box for now. Next thing going out on C3 is a Disney Toy Story Woody and Buzz Bank. You got a friend in me. Hopefully I don't get a strike on my YouTube video for tone pitch matching perfectly. Right? Perfectly? That was perfect, right? But for this item right here, what a fabulous movie. Not all of them. Toy Story 1. Just a classic. Just such a good movie. I paid up for that. So I think I paid, and when I say paid up, I mean more than under $1. But I think I paid $3 for it. $24.99 free shipping. I did send out an offer. Next thing going out is on A2, a Tommy Bahama bracelet. It is new in package right here. It's blue and orange, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, blue and orange. It's like a woven leather. Also got this from the Mikhail mystery box. And for that item, $22.99 free shipping. Might have sent out an offer. I think I countered. I think I countered an offer. Like they sent me a $20 and I countered with it. That sounds somewhat familiar. Next thing going out, B3 is a vintage Yale padlock with a key. So I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure it is. I will double check. Yep, it's that one right there with this cool like hexagon top to the key there. But for that right there, $25.99 free shipping. That was full asking price. And let's see what we got left for locks. Okay, still a decent amount, but they've definitely been, it was definitely good listings. And I just happened to, it was very weird. I bought some locks, a big chain of locks at a garage sale, and also a pile of them came in a Mikhail mystery box same time. So I went from 0 locks ever listed in my life to, I want to say it was like 30 locks. All of a sudden I became a store that had locks. I was a lock person. Next thing going out, I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing possibly Jared Allen, former Minnesota Viking, fabulous football player. I'm guessing maybe there was a hint of Hall of Fame because, but also it's football season, so it could have just been because it was football season, because it was, I think, on Sunday when I got, because it's in one wave, I got 3 or 4 offers. So maybe he happened to be there at the game. People are like, oh yeah, Jared Allen. Oh yeah, something happened because within a couple hours, I got 4 or 5 offers on the same Jared Allen jersey. It's on C4, surprise, surprise. It's a Minnesota Vikings number 69 Jared Allen jersey. C1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. That one is an Adrian Peterson jersey. which would have been worth good money about 10 years ago. Then he had that child abuse scandal. Whatever side your opinion is on that is for you to decide. But for that jersey right there, I want to say I paid $20 for the pair of them, so $10 a piece. I think they were marked 15. I made a deal and got something like that is where it was. And for that one, countered $39.99 because I'd gotten sent all these offers. I countered all of them with $39.99 plus shipping on that. So that's really good. I thought that would have been free shipping. But it is a size 50, so it's a big boy. But the reason I think there was something that happened, Jared Allen, not just that it happened to be Sunday and the Vikings look good this year, is because after it sold, one of the people that I counter offered to that had sent me an offer sent me a message and said, hey, I see that items did sell. If it falls through, let me know and I'll buy it. So they were regretting sending an offer in the first place. So they're I think something. Maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll care. Probably not. I'll just talk about it and hope one of you has Minnesota Vikings retired player information. And then last thing going out today, it's a book. Earl Gardner, Mystery Detectives, Perry Mason, The Case of the Daring Decoy. Right here. My words are working today. Earl Stanley Gardner, a Perry Mason mystery. I think that was a show, Perry Mason? I don't know. I think that's a thing. Perry Mason was a show. Let me know. Perry Mason was a show, right? Not something I watched. Maybe I'm getting confused with Columbo. I don't know. But either way, like I was really pounding the table on earlier, I can pack up all of these items, every single one, in the same amount of time it will take me to pack up that one item. As soon as that sold, I wasn't pumped. I wasn't like, oh, yay, I made some money. I was like, ugh, now I got to pack this thing. It's just not worth it. If I had 15 items, it doesn't matter. When you got, I don't know what we're up to, 1,500 items or something, because what if, here's a scenario. I was watching one of Kat's lives, one of Nurse Flipper's lives, a while back. And someone posed a question that I thought was really interesting, to just a thought experiment. If your store sold out today, if for some reason every item in your store was desirable today, could you even get those items out? And the answer for, I would say, 99% of people is no, not a chance. If 1,500 items in my store sold, I have 2-day handling. Even in that amount of time, there's zero chance I could get them all out. I wouldn't have enough bubble wrap. I wouldn't have enough boxes. I wouldn't have enough hands. There wouldn't be enough hours in the day. And so if something like that happened, which it won't, the chances of that are almost zero. But if something like that, I'm not saying like go make sure you have enough bubble wrap to wrap every item in your store. That's ludicrous. There's no chance that would happen. But if that did happen, or even something close to it, the only logical thing I could do would be to not ship out the items that are going to take me the most time, because it would result with the least dings on my account. It would result in the least negative feedbacks. It would result in the most items going out, profits or not. So when you think of it in that way, that's also another check that big items, they're just really not. Let me put it this way. Big items, you need to decide how much money is it really worth, because it comes with extra steps. It comes with extra liability. It comes with extra costs, opportunity costs, not financial costs. It also comes with extra financial costs for storage and things like that, but opportunity costs. What else could I be doing instead of packing that? What else could I be storing instead of that big item? And the only reason that I harp on this a little bit, which I've never used that term before, but it's something my dad says, so that kind of left a gross taste in my mouth when I said it. But the reason I pound the table about the smaller items and ignore the bigger items, or at least have enough profits to make it worth it, is that when I first started out, I was exactly the opposite. And when you first start out, it makes more sense to be that way, because you have room, you have time, you have space, you have less items to list, all those kinds of things. But I was very set on, I would much rather sell 2 really big items a day than to sell 20 small items. And yeah, sure, that's true. If you sell exactly 2 items a day, and if you can source enough big, expensive items, that would happen. But that's a fantasy. In order to sell 2 DVD VCR combos a day, I'd have to have 100 DVD VCR combos listed. And, well, 100's an exaggeration, but just, I'd have to have a lot of them. And then I risk that one day I'd sell 20 of them and have no chance to get that work done. It's just food for thought. So either way, my throat is gone, camping all weekend, yelling at the kids, smoke from the fire. Randomly, it was like perfect weather, perfect camping weather. So, 70 degrees, nice breeze, a little overcast, but not raining. And then the one day, I think it peaked out at 86 degrees. And so here's Dad, his shirt off, sweating in the sun, cooking every meal, sunburnt. It was rough on that second day, but we had a good time. Michael loved it, so that's what's important, right? Well, that's gonna be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other.